was that it had to be easy to clean, had to be very nice colors, aesthetic. Why not? You know, transit bus doesn't have to be a utilitarian or utility vehicle. It could be something that's pretty to look at. So what we decided to do was open up the bus in the sense that we've given more volume back to the passengers by doing what we call asymmetric ceiling, which is unique in the industry. You notice that the ceiling is not the same on both sides. In a traditional bus or an existing bus, we have advertising on both sides, which is very traditional with 11-inch panels that are inserted. In this case, what we decided to do was open up this side. Instead of having a volume behind the base, what we call base lights or advertising panels, which didn't serve any real purpose other than airflow, we decided to open that up and give that back to the passengers. So what that gives is that really it gives a sense of openness when you come into the bus. You get the feeling that it's a bigger bus, and we worked a lot on colors, on lighting, on elements that are very easy to clean or easier to clean to keep the bus clean.
What are the different colors that you offer?
It depends on the component. There are some parts that are molded, so we offer limited colors in that case. But gray is still the predominant color in our industry, and it's because it's easy to match. It's easy to find materials that have that color. But we do offer some different colors. Depends on the customer. Colors that change a lot are seat fabrics change a lot, and the flooring can change also. Different color schemes are available.
So the current seat fabric, how much has it changed? What are the advantages of this new seat fabric?
This is actually not a new seat fabric.
Okay.
It's the same as what we offer now. So the seats, we haven't changed the seats other than the seat legs, and I'll show you that in a few minutes.
Okay.
But if we start at the front, if I go into a few more elements, this front partition, we decided to make it lighter. We decided to make it thinner, and we're always looking for room inside a bus. I mean, a bus is a square box, and we're trying to figure out a place to give more room. So in this case, what we did was we made a very thin drawer partition where we gave about an inch back to the driver. So the driver's seat goes back one more inch, and this passenger also has a little bit more room on the shoulder level. So it's very small changes, but it gives more room back to the passengers instead of having, again, a volume that doesn't serve any purpose really. The other thing we've done is work on lighting. So in this case, this bus has LED lighting instead of fluorescent, so it's easier to maintain. We can dim it, we can dim the lighting. There's different lighting options. In this case, we have a lighting option, what we call an LED crossbar, where these LED crossbars can be dimmed at night, so it can be more of like an ambience light. Very often the drivers will want to turn off the lights at night to not have glare in the windshield, and you end up having a dark bus, and passengers don't necessarily like that. So with this, we can dim those crossbars and have kind of an ambient light without disturbing the driver windshield glare. And then if we move towards the front of the bus, these wheelhouses, we call wheelhouses, we've added some protective material here, stainless steel, so that whenever people come in with suitcases or objects or wheelchairs, often they will bump into these wheelhouses, and they'll damage the surface. So that makes the surface more resistant, more durable.
In the scoot pasture.
We've worked, like I said, we did focus groups with customers, and one of the things that they mentioned was that the bus was difficult to clean. All buses are difficult to clean. So there's a lot of crevices, a lot of places where dirt just accumulates, and it's difficult. So what we did was we've really streamlined or made the bottom around the floor level very smooth, so that there's no place for dust or dirt to accumulate. Very important. So for instance, if you look at the seat legs, you'll notice that there's similar to now where the seats are cantilevered, they don't have a leg that goes down to the floor. Very easy to sweep. We already have that option, but what we did was we went one step further where the leg, I guess this one you can see better, but the leg that goes into the wall, instead of having some visible screws and bolts where dirt accumulates around those bolts and We just put covers on that, just so that it's smooth and easy to clean. Again, at the floor level, we've eliminated most of the hardware, so that it's really a question of not having dirt accumulating there and easy to clean. In the back here, we've added some advertising space. So we've met with a couple of advertising agencies. We're looking at bus interiors and bus advertising, and by doing this asymmetric ceiling, it offers a larger surface. It offers two planes, so they can have what we call a story instead of just having a panel. And it's possible to do a wrap, a complete wrap on one side of the bus. So that's premium advertising space. The other.
How much more do you think that the municipalities can sell this space compared to what they used to be able to do?
Well, there's about 15% more space, but what the advertisers have told us was that it was a more interesting space in the sense that it goes away from the traditional just square panel or rectangular panel because it has two surfaces. So it's similar to sometimes you'll see buses that are completely wrapped with a story, with a theme. Then that becomes possible with this surface on the interior. So that's premium advertising space for customers. So that's revenue for the customers actually. For advertising and for passenger information, we've added this LCD screen. We can add two of these. So there's one here and there's one that goes towards the front. And the reason we've kept those screens on what we call the curb side is that customers are looking at this side. They're looking towards the door, they're looking at the sidewalk, they're looking where they're going. And again, we didn't want to clutter this side because we wanted to keep that, to maintain that volume back to the passengers. So we didn't want to add equipment on this side. So on this screen, it's a high resolution screen, high definition screen. So what is shown on the screen is really up to the customer to decide. It can be advertising, it can be corporate messages, it can be GPS locations or timetables. That's really up to the customer to decide that. It's basically a monitor, so whatever computer you use to drive it, then you can display whatever you want with it. In the back here, one neat feature is we've added this panel that lights up when you open the door, and it's just a cool feature. Used to be just a very plain green light above the door when the door would become energized or ready to be opened. And this is an optional feature, but it's really a neat feature, something that we enjoyed developing, and we think the result looks really good.
So does it add anything for safety? Or just sort of really aesthetic?
It's just cool. And then in the back, we've decided to make our buses now without a rear window. Most buses have a rear window. All of our buses so far have rear windows, and some customers prefer not to have a rear window, just to use that space for advertising or to use that space to place equipment behind this panel. So we decided to offer a bus without a rear window, and the rear window was still available, obviously. What we did to offset the fact that there won't be a rear window, so it might be a little bit darker here. Obviously, we've got sufficient lighting, but we've also done we developed some skylights. Instead of these emergency hatches are usually just blank white, you can't see through them. And in this case, they're skylights now. So both in the front and the back, light comes in, natural lighting comes in. So it really opens up, brightens up the rear of the bus. The other thing that you'll notice is that we've developed what we call connectors or a system for grab rails, where there's a lot of molded pieces, these molded pieces, and there's some smaller pieces, but there's some large, what we call omega pieces in the front. And what that does is actually it's a parts kit. It's a kit so that a customer that would like to, for every contract that we do, there's always different layouts. Customers will want more seats, less seats, different layouts, and this allows us to do that. It's it's a parts kit where it's very modular, very easy for us to customize what the customer actually needs, and it looks good. And any layout it'll look good. It'll look like a finished product, and it'll be very resistant for passengers.
Can you fit more passengers into a bus now, or is it the
No,
same?
it's the same
It's the same.
passenger.
And how many can fit in here?
That depends on the layout. Like in this case, yeah.
No, well, sure, it's fine.
But it depends on what the city requires. Like I was mentioning before, there are some cities that will prefer to have more seated passengers. Some cities will maximize standee passengers just to have more passenger capacity. We can go up to, total, I'd say we can go up to about 80, 85 passengers total. And in terms of seated passengers, we can go up to about 39 seats. So again, that depends on different layouts. So those are the two extremes, would say. The maximum seating would be about 39, the maximum passengers overall would be about 80, 85.
And what about the cost to the transit agency? Is it about the same?
This is the same cost, yes, yeah. It's cost neutral to the transit agency. We think we offer more to the transit agency. It was very important. We're in a bid business where it's a low bid business, so we have to maintain our cost. Even though we think this is a premium offer for the industry, when we compare it to our competitors, we did a lot of benchmarking, and we think this is a premium offer to the industry, but we maintain our price at the same level.
And when can Montrealers expect to see these on the STM routes?
Well, we're working on a new contract with Montreal. Actually, we're bidding on a new contract with Montreal now, and we're bidding with this interior. So we're hoping that that Montreal will choose us, and ATSUC actually will choose us, and we'll choose this new interior. For the existing contracts that we have with ATSUC or with STM and the other transit authorities within Quebec, we are talking to them, discussing with them if we can migrate to this new interior. Our other customers, like BC Transit or other big customers, we're talking to them also if we can migrate to this new interior. There are a lot of advantages in terms of maintenance, like I was mentioned before, for cleanliness and parts installation, modularity, and so we're slowly migrating to this. But within the end of the year, we predict that all of our contracts will have this new interior.